So the first is you've seen a lot of different farming techniques. And there's an organic farmer from Southern California that would like your advice, practical advice, on a gardening tip. And then the other question says, how can we arrive at conscious connection with Mother Earth every step we take on her?
So I'm not a farmer. My wife has a vegetable garden which is very prodigious, and we eat from it. I ate kale this afternoon from our garden, very gratefully. And I learned a lot from Ed and Rochelle. But I would say instead I'd look at a trend. If the gentleman who asked the question is an organic farmer,
Or it could be a woman.
oh, I thought you said him, or whoever it is, he or she, is an organic farmer, that think about 10 years ago what the word organic meant. It was sort of hippy-dippy, and it was in little small shops and co-ops and things like that. And then Whole Foods started to embrace it, and now every major supermarket chain has to have an organic section, and Amazon bought Whole Foods because the world is going in this direction. People are realizing they want organic food. They want clean, healthy food where they know where it came from. So I would just say, bless you, keep doing what you're doing, because the world is going to need a lot more of what you produce, and ultimately we can end this concept of killing the soil and covering it with chemicals, petrochemicals, and creating something that some people call food.
But I see that we have started using these words which have become part of our daily life. Like for example, this always bothers me, the word waste. See, everything that we have, from the food that we eat, the clothes that we wear, the furniture we sit on, and just everything, is essentially a piece of this planet. Hello? Everything is, including this body and everything, is just a piece of this planet. There is never anything here that you can call waste. You're allowed to use it, and when you put it back, it must become soil once again. Well, Cornelius is here, he's the shit king. Well,
Nothing is wasted.
How much percentage of United States shit do you have in your control?
Working on more and more, working on more and more.
Well, some big percentage of the shit from all the cities in United States, Cornelius owns it. He's not responsible for it, but he owns it.
It's a long story.
It's a long story. So, I'm saying, there is really nothing that is waste here. It's just earth. Now, we make many things out of it. Some things, like us, the moment we are buried, within a few days becomes earth very easily, but we are putting ourselves in a box, I don't know why. I just cannot understand. Why are you in a box? You must be in a rush to become part of the earth. Putting you in a box, you're preventing this body from becoming earth, unfortunately. We evolved a system in our center, anywhere around us, if people die, we just bury them and plant a tree on them. So, for their relatives and friends, this tree. You make very good manure if you did not know this. Anything that you put out of your body makes fantastic manure, Cornelius. And the body itself is fantastic manure, you know. So, this aspect of what is organic, what is inorganic, there's really nothing like that. Everything is planet. Whatever you made out of it. We made some things which unfortunately cannot quickly go back into earth. It takes… some things take 1,000 years or more these days we're talking about. But most of the other things, if you put it down to earth, within a matter of a decade or two, it will be earth again. So that's what is fantastic. Even you may be thinking many things about yourself, As far as Mother Earth is concerned, she looks at you and she thinks you as a recycling process. She throws you out and sucks you back, she throws you out and sucks you back. You think, I'm a great guy, I'm a great generation, but she thinks nothing. She just throws you out and sucks you back. Hello? You're just a pop-up. So, this idea that we got from somewhere, that we can grow food in some other way other than organic way, is kind of unbelievable. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I don't know how anybody came up with this idea. But when this idea started taking root in India, I was into farming. I was living on a farm. About 35 years ago, 40 years ago, the fertilizer companies were coming and giving talks in villages about the virtues of fertilizer, how it can do things. I was just sitting there and looking at them and I couldn't wrap my head around this, how the hell? And they were telling all the farmers, this unfortunately worked. They were telling the farmers, see, in Indian farmer is like this, because largely it is rain-fed cultivation, okay? Irrigated lands are a certain percentage, rest is all rain-fed. We had a system of rainfall that we could almost… farmer would know on this day it will rain, you know? They would be ready. They know on this particular day of the calendar it's going to rain and it always rains. So he's got his plough ready, everything ready for that day. That's how it was. But these guys came and advised, you must remove all the trees, because trees suck away the fertilizer. It's expensive. If you have trees, they will take up all the fertilizer, it won't go to your crops, so you must take away the trees. And trees just vanished in the last 40 years on such a scale. For example, the Ganga basin. Ganga is the largest or one of the biggest rivers in India. It is metaphorically, it is the river for the Indian people. Ganga covers 25% of India's geography and 33% of India's agriculture is in the Ganga basin. In the Ganga basin, in the last 40 years' time, we removed 92% of the trees in the Ganga basin, okay? Today, every year, we're putting back about 100 million trees. That's just started, yet to grow. Tree doesn't happen overnight, we can plant, but it'll take 20 years to make it look like a tree. So this policy, the commercial companies went about propagating that if you have trees, you will not succeed in your farming. And this led to suicides. Farmers started committing suicide because if his crop fails, he has nothing to fall back on. Otherwise, every farmer used to have a line of trees, at least on one side of the… because looking at the winds and the monsoon winds so that the seeds don't spread all over the land, they always planted their trees on the eastern side because the southwest monsoon was the strongest wind, so they always planted on the eastern side of their land. And they want to conduct their daughter's wedding, one tree they cut. It's already named, it was like this in the southern villages. This tree is named after their daughter. For her wedding, this tree is growing. When she was born, it was planted, it is growing. When for her wedding comes, they're going to chop down this tree and that's how it gets financed. Now the son has to go to the university, there's another tree. Like this, they had insurance. When things went bad, they fell back on the trees. But they just removed everything because fertilizer companies insisted, you have to remove trees, otherwise fertilizer will not be effectively used. And in the last 10 years, over 300,000 farmers committed suicide in India, simply because there is no fallback. When crop fails, there is simply no fallback for him, he's just lost. The money that he's borrowed from the banks or money lenders, he can't pay back. Unable to bear that, he just takes this extreme step. So, why I'm saying this is there some other way to grow food other than organic? There isn't. There simply isn't. There is no such thing as organic farming and some other synthetic farming, there is no such thing. You're just pumping up the organic plants with something just to make it look like food. It is only looking like food. In the last 25 years, the nutrient drop in Indian vegetables is 40%. You can eat the same amount of vegetables, you're getting 40% less nutrients. And everybody is sick. Now in America, you're talking about how to give up meat. In India, every doctor is advising if you don't eat meat, you will not get nourishment. The same fertilizer story. At that time, the fertilizer companies did that. Now the doctors are telling everybody, if you do not eat meat, you will not get nourishment. In a way, they're not totally off because vegetarian diet has no nourishment simply because of the way it's grown. It's only looking like food, it's not food, it's trash that they're selling to you. So is there some kind of farming other than organic farming? There simply isn't.